All right. Hello, everyone. A warm welcome from my side and a good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I'm Svea Becker from the SAP Community team, and I'm your host today for the SAP Community call on the topic Hyper-Automate with Google AI Services and SAP Build Process Automation. And this is the third call of the series we offered already. The first one was on February 7th, and the second one was on February 9th. And today is the third one. And I'm going to share all the links here later on. And Deval is also going to present a little bit more about this. And this is already our first speaker. So welcome, Deval Khatri. He's a product manager primarily for document processing area within SAP Process Automation. And we have Priya again, Priya Puvvada. She's a customer solution adoption senior specialist as well for SAP Build Process Automation. So that's all from my side. Beside the fact, if you have questions, you can already ask them in the chat here. And I'm going to present them after the presentation. So feel free to write them already here. And that's all from my side. Thanks so much for joining, everyone. And welcome again, Deval and Priya. I hand over to you. The stage is yours, and you can start with your presentation.
Okay, so let me share my screen.
Yeah, looks good.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. I'll just have the disclaimer slide for a moment here, and then start with my presentation. So what you guys saw in this round of community call series is that we introduced you to the SAP Build Process Automation and the Google integration and what this is all about within the first call. And then we moved on to the second call in the series, which was about automating your Google applications. And what we are here to talk about today, Priya and me, is on Hyper-Automate with Google AI Services. Today, I will be shedding some light on Google Document AI integration as well as Google Vision AI integration and some of the important features they hold that would help you move forward with building your projects. So let's start with Google Document AI integration. It's basically a unified suite that helps you understand and organize documents using some pre-trained models. You can use the out-of-the-box approach and simply uptrain different kinds of documents like invoices, expense, identity, etc. And you can also work with the custom models using labels where you can give your line items as well as header fields and what fields you're looking to extract, and then simply test, train, and deploy, as well as use the human in the loop feature. Of course, it's powered by the OCR, so that does the extract text from the image and documents for you. And then the Document AI warehouse helps you with the semantic search and faceted search in order to collect and organize the documents. And this whole service is a managed service, so you don't really need any infrastructure to manage or maintain it. Now, what are these processors and form parsers? So basically, processor is a collection of all the information, like a template concept within the document information extraction service that we have. So similar to that, you have different kinds of form parsers to pick from based on your needs, or you can create a custom form parser. And that basically holds the information of your header and line item fields, as well as the annotations. And that's where you perform the uptrain and testing. And once that processor is ready, it can be integrated with SAP Build Process Automation via the prediction endpoint, which is something that we would look into in detail. It also has a strong feature of handwriting recognition, which comes as quite a common requirement for us. And in this sense, our integration with Google Document AI will be seen as a successful implementation, because it has over 200 languages supported, and approximately 50 languages are supported with the Google OCR and can be accessed via the Google Document AI integration. Now, talking about the human in the loop, seen as a very essential feature when it comes to dealing with AI and ML technologies for document processing, because of course, they are prone to errors sometimes, and sometimes the input documents might not be exactly as you would have trained your form parsers to be, which means that during the execution time, it becomes quite essential for a user to be able to review every individual document and correct the annotations as needed, or correct the fields manually, and then pass on a proper data for further processing. And Google Document AI provides human in the loop in a very simple fashion, where you can simply choose from different filters. You can create your specialist pools to decide who gets these documents for review during the execution time. Now, how this works with SAP Build Process Automation. So we have a simple two-step integration. First of all, also what you saw within the previous calls, you would be using the authorized service account activity within the automation, where you give your authentication key and select the scope as the Google Cloud Platform scope. Then you would search for extract. So you get the extract using processor activity. You drag and drop that, and you see the file path, which could be two options, either the local file path within your computers or laptops, or it could be the GCP cloud-based path that you can provide. So you can indeed store your incoming documents within the Google Cloud platform, as in the Google Cloud Storage, and give the path for it. And then simply the prediction endpoint URL, which I'm about to show you. And this is all that it's needed to integrate the Google Cloud, Google Document AI with SAP Build Process Automation. Now, before we move to the demo, I would like to also share Google Vision AI. And Google Vision AI is our second integration with Google Cloud. Of course, this is a final fallback mechanism, so this is not something that I'm recommending everybody to use all the time, but it's definitely a really strong feature. So when would you use it? And when do you really use these PDF activities in general? Where you have default or custom templates and processes not working, or where specific fields are only needed, but the input source in general is highly unstructured and string operations are the only possibility. So this is where you would be using the PDF activities. And SAP Build Process Automation already has a set of PDF activities which you get from the PDF SDK. Now, what we have done with this integration is that we have tapped into the power of Google OCR via Google Vision AI and turned our existing PDF activities into the Google Vision AI-based activities. So all you need to do is drag and drop the open document, Google OCR, and basically rest of the PDF activities that fall after it, for example, extract fields or extract purchase order value or something like that, would be basically powered by the Google Vision AI. So pretty straightforward. Just one activity on how you open the document actually changes the technology from document information extraction service to the Google Vision AI. Now, let's look at how the Google Document AI looks like and how it can help you build the processors via different kinds of form parsers. So this is basically the main page of the Google Document AI, where you can select your project based on what's been enabled for you by your IT team and based on your access. Then you can look at your list of processors that you can maintain, which means you can create different kinds of processors, and also based on the region, you can filter accordingly. First of all, you can go to the processor gallery, and that's where you get a whole list of different kinds of processors to select from. And of course, you can also tap into the document OCR directly from here as well. So it's not necessary that you need to only rely on those PDF activities. You can as well use this particular parser to create the processor. And as you can see from the list, it's a wide variety of different kinds of parsers. So there will definitely be something to suit to your needs. But let's say, for example, you have a certain niche requirement and any of these parsers are not working for you, and it's not a simple plug and play thing for you. You can, of course, go back to the My Processors and create a custom processor. When you create a processor, it's important that you have a data set where you provide a certain link to the Google Cloud Storage where you are going to have all your documents. And then you are ready to go. And how it looks like, just to share an example real quick. This is one invoice test one processor that we have created, where you have your storage data set. And it also directly gives you the option of configuring human in the loop from here itself. As a second step, you basically train it by importing documents to it. And then you can simply open up a certain document and provide annotations by selecting a certain field. And then say mark as label. And if it's not annotated correctly, as I just did right now, you can, of course, re-annotate and say mark as label. And in this way, you can pick all of your header fields as well as the line item fields and do the annotations accordingly. So pretty straightforward in that sense. And then you move to the next step, which is evaluate and test. So of course, after your annotations and labeling is done, you can move forward by uploading different documents and testing the results on the go and correct the labeling back again in the train section if you find certain mistakes. Now, when it comes to the human in the loop, where you try to configure something, it's important that you create a new specialist pool, first of all. And once you confirm that, that's when you set the filters, add your instructions, and select the final results location. And that's about it. Now, let's look at how the activity actually looks like and how it executes. So for this, I would like to show you one of our tenants here, where I have already created a small automation artifact where you see the authorized Google service account. And I might be repeating myself, but with the bigger screen, you can get a better look at how this is going to work. So this is where you get your service account key path. And this is something that you can fetch from the Google Document AI console and just simply provide the keys file path on your machine. And then within the scope, you select the custom data and then the custom data within the scopes list. And then finally, within the scopes list item, you select the Google Cloud Platform scope. The user email is, of course, optional. And then you can simply look for extract. That gives you the Google Document AI header over here, and you simply drag and drop that activity, and you provide your file path as well as the prediction endpoint. Now, where do you get the prediction endpoint from? So if we go back to the My Processors and select a certain processor, you would see within the processor details segment, the prediction endpoint URL available over here, which is something you can simply copy to the clipboard and paste it over there within the activity. And the output is going to be in the extracted JSON format. So it will be very similar to how our document information extraction service result used to look like. And then there would be a small custom script where, in this case, what I've tried to do here is simply getting the entities details out, where the extracted result is taken as the input, and then the document.entities looks into all the details of the extracted results and returns the form data. So let's look at how the execution looks like. Okay, so now that the execution is done, through the log message where I've kept the entities, we can see that all the details of each and every possible field that was there within that pre-made form came out. And if you're using the pre-made processors, it's also important to know that you don't necessarily need to do all the labelings and annotations all the time manually by yourself, because that's something that you particularly do when you create the custom parsers. And as you can see, the total amount, the net amount, the supplier details, all of that information is available to you over here. Now, this was my part, and getting back to the presentation, I would like to hand it over to Priya.
Yeah. Thank you, Deval. A warm welcome from my side as well. So now you would have seen the power of Google Document AI and Vision AI that has been using SAP Build Process Automation. Now let's take a live scenario, real-time scenario about automating the sales order creation in S/4HANA system. In my previous session, I would have shown the same scenario, but the use case was different, where you would have received all the purchase order details in an Excel format. Now let's take a scenario where all the purchase order details are available as a PDF document. You know that each company has its own way of having the purchase order documents. So in this scenario, I'll be showing how the purchase order details are available in the PDF, and using the Google Document and Vision AI, how do you retrieve the details from this PDF. And once the details are retrieved, we push them to the Google Sheets and then create an S/4HANA sales order in the S4 system. And the next step is bot acknowledges back to this email with the creation of the sales order number as well. Now let's get into the scenario. Okay. So this is the bot which was built to do the entire automation as I've shown there. So where first the email would be searched, whether I would even open my Google Cloud, I would even open my email here, where I have the email with the purchase order document as a subject and the purchase order as a PDF document. So the document which I would be, which is there in the attachment is the one which I'd be showing here. So this is there available as a attachment. So in the business scenario, so you would be in the sales department, the user would be getting all the details over an email with certain subject, and also the purchase order details in a PDF document. Once all those details are available, so the bot would initiate where you would authorize the account. It would search for all the emails. So it would search for all the emails which have the particular subject as purchase order. And if it is unread or read, all of them would be available. And if there are more than one, so it would retrieve all the emails with particular subject. Hence, I have taken a for each loop, also looping through all those emails and then storing all of those PDFs in my local file. You can even store it in your local system or also in a drive. As of now, I've stored all the attachments that I've been retrieving it from the from the emails in a particular folder here. Then I would get the file collection of this and retrieve the list using the extract processor. So one by one, I would be getting all those details. And Deval has already explained how do you create a bucket and how do you get this production endpoint once you have successfully annotated in your Google Cloud Console. So this is the same segment of a piece of automation which Deval had explained in detail. So step 5 to 11, I would say. Once all these details are retrieved from the PDF, these would be stored in a Google Sheet, and another automation which would be created, which would create sales order in S4 HANA system. And the bot would acknowledge back with a particular sales order number created to the particular email as well. Now let's execute the automation. So now when the automation is executed, it will read all the emails in my account, and the bot would be storing all the purchase order PDF document in this folder structure. So you would be soon seeing a purchase order file here. So once this is available, then using the Google Document AI, the bot would open this document, read all these purchase order details, and put it in a Google document as well, Google Sheet. Once these details are available, then you could even see here now it has ended, and the bot would even acknowledge to the particular email with the sales order number created. So let me go back to the console here, to my email. So you would see that even it has replied saying that the particular sales order number has been created. If you can see, right, sales order so-and-so has been created successfully. You can see it here. So these are the business scenarios, how you could use Google Document AI with the SAP Build Process Automation. So we have any queries here, Svea, so that we can answer regarding this automation or the one which Deval and me had presented?
No, there are no questions so far.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think you have explained it very well.
Thank you. So these are the blog posts as mentioned earlier, right? If you want to know more about the how does SAP Build Process Automation support the automation of automating all the Google applications, please refer to all these blog posts, and also the enablement content, developer tutorials, and also the sample content that we have mentioned here. We even have a video which presents the same use case where all the details would be purchase order details are available in a PDF document, then read the details from your email, create it, and finally it posts it in the S4 HANA system. And we even have a community blog post explaining in detail about all the Google Cloud applications. So if you want to learn about SAP Build Process Automation, you can go through all the SAP Build roadmap where you can have an idea on SAP Build as a whole as well. If there are any Q&A, we can take it up.
Yeah, there are no questions so far. So the audience, I hope you're still there. Write in. It's your opportunity to connect with the speaker. Write your question in the chat. Take the opportunity to have a look into these QR codes here. So take a screenshot and connect with our speakers. Also during the call, I have added the SAP Community profiles from Priya and Deval into the chat. So here it's your opportunity to connect with our speaker directly. And yeah, that's not the only way. You can, of course, connect with them personally, but you can also go to the topic page of SAP Build Process Automation, and you can add, you can find the link here in the chat as well. You can have a look into the content over there. So follow also the tag. So when you go to the topic page, you have this blue follow button, then you follow the tag, and then you get updates whenever there is new content in SAP Community. So that's the best place to stay up to date in regards to SAP Build Process Automation. Yeah, so if there are no questions, it was a lot of content in the last 3 calls. You see here also the link to the replays. So that's a great opportunity to catch up with it. And if you have questions, go to SAP Community to answer.com and post your question there. And so I have talked a lot now, but there's still no question. I think your content was really well prepared. And for me, I can only say thank you. It was great having you again here as speaker. And I hope to see you in one of the next calls, and also to our audience, connect with us. And we hope to see you in one of our next live streams. So thanks again, everyone, and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you. Thank you, Svea, for having us here.
Bye.
Bye.
Welcome. Bye-bye.